Good morning, boys and girls. All right. So we are on week 3 of our new digital online learning. All right. And our genre for this week is a biography. And you guys should have, you guys may have already read it, but that's because you've been used to reading and then coming and doing our lesson. But if you looked on our lesson plan, it said to do our lesson first and then read. If you didn't do it that way, then you've already done it and I can't change it. But that was just because we're doing a little bit different routine, okay? I did some learning with Mrs. Gerald last week all about how to teach vocabulary. Who remembers what vocabulary is? Vocabulary is words and knowing their meaning. So this week and probably next week as well, we're going to be working on vocabulary, okay? Why do you think vocabulary is important? Why do you think? Well, if you haven't already guessed it, vocabulary, as we've talked about in class before, vocabulary is important because when we're reading and we're reading this sentence and we come to this big word, let's say the word is chasm, okay? And we come to this word and some of us might know it and some of us might not. The sentence might not make any sense if we don't understand what the word means, okay? So then it can mess up maybe the whole book for some of us if it's a small book, but the whole meaning of the paragraph, okay? So if we don't have some knowledge and background of that word, it can be very confusing for you, okay? So if we build some background knowledge on word meaning, it makes it much easier when we're reading. Because we don't want to have to stop, go get a dictionary, or go get our phone, or go get our iPad, or go ask someone what a word means so that our reading makes sense, right? So that's why when we have been doing wonders, I will maybe stop and say, that word means this, okay? But we can use context clues to help us understand what word means sometimes, right? Yeah, we can definitely do that. Or maybe a part of the word. Okay, procedure is in here. Could you use part of that word to help you figure out what procedure means? Maybe. All right, so we read Stephanie Kwolek, inventor. Okay, that's what we're reading this week. Okay, so we are going to use some different steps to help us build vocabulary knowledge. Okay, this week, probably next week as well. Okay, this is a lovely like a ranking scale about your vocabulary knowledge for this week, okay? So for today, I'm going to teach you this ranking chart. And had we been in class the whole year, we would use this every week, okay? So when you make your chart today, don't get rid of it. You're gonna write it down on a piece of paper, keep it, okay? Don't get rid of it. I want you to store it somewhere safe. You know, whether you have to hide it from your brother and sister under your bed, do it. So you need to keep it all week, okay? So you're going to go through the bolded words. They're bolded and highlighted in yellow, and you're going to rank them. But I'm going to explain this ranking scale to you so that you can properly understand how you are to rank them, okay? And I believe there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 words, okay? As you are doing your reading, if you come across a word that you believe should be a vocabulary word, because it's not just a word like the, want, help, and you want to rank it on your chart, you're very welcome to rank it on your chart as well. It doesn't just have to be the bolded vocabulary words that are on here as well. But those 8 words need to be ranked for the week, okay? So, the way this chart works, okay? You would make a chart like this where you have 4 columns, 0, 1, 2, 3, and then on the left side is where you would write those vocabulary words, okay? So, a 0 means this word has no meaning for you. You don't recognize the word. You have no idea what that word means, okay? None, okay? A 1 would mean you recognize the word, but you couldn't define it or tell me what it means. You wouldn't use that word. Okay. A 2 would mean you recognize the word, you could tell me somewhat what it means, but you wouldn't use it in your writing. It's not something you would use on a regular basis, but you could give me some definition of what it means. All right? And a 3, oh, you own that word, okay? You can tell me what it means. You would use it in your writing. You would use it in your speaking. That is your word, okay? I'm going to write up here, I own this word, okay? You should feel very confident that if I said, okay, Javon, hi Javon, what does that word mean? You could say that word means, and you could explain it. Maybe draw me a picture that's using that word, or someone could look at that picture and maybe even come up with that word. You could write it in a sentence. You could speak it in a sentence, okay? A 3 would be that word. A 2 would be maybe just define it, okay? Give me a little bit of a definition. A 1 just means I kind of know this word, maybe a little bit, kind of have an idea. A 0 means I've never heard that word. I have no idea what that word means. That word is out in outer space. All right? So, if you have not already listened or read the story, your job today is to go into Clever, go into McGraw-Hill, go into Wonders as we normally do, listen, read along to that story, and find those 8 words and make this lovely chart, vocabulary chart, and write those 8 words. You can just put a check mark in one of those columns for each of those words, all right? That is all that you have to do. And think about it, okay? Be honest with yourself. Because I tell you what, Mrs. Gerald did this with me and with Mrs. Walter and with Miss Christensen, and I believe there were 4 or 5 words. I only had 1 word that I marked a 3. 1 word. All right, and I'll share that word with you tomorrow. No, Wednesday. I think it's Wednesday. Wednesday. Later in the week. And the others were 2s. And then I think I had I don't know if I had any 1s, but I definitely had a 0. So don't feel like there's something wrong because you have some marked as 0s, all right? Because sometimes there are just really big, difficult words that we don't know. In fact, a friend of mine used this word the other day, and now I can't even remember what it was, but I had to look it up in the dictionary because I had no idea what the word meant. And now here, I haven't used it again and I've lost it. But we all learn new words all the time, especially when we're kids, and it's good to learn new words, new vocabulary words every day. So, we're going to make this chart, list those 8 words, and rank each of them. Because our goal for the end of the week is to learn 3 new words if possible. Whether they're those vocabulary words, or maybe there's some new words in that book that weren't listed as vocabulary words that become new words that you will use in your daily life. All right? Understand what we're doing? All right. And I will see you hopefully this evening in my office hours. Office hours on Monday are from 3 to 6. And I am on during the second hour. So the second hour would be from 4 to 5. So Mrs. Walter is on from 3 to 4. I get on from 4 to 5. And Miss Christensen gets on from 5 to 6. All right? So if you meet me on there, maybe I'll read some more Percy Jackson. All right? Have a good day, guys.